I sling heavy pickle.
Psychotic and iconic. Psychotic and iconic.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream of episode 11 of Psychotic and Iconic. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in tonight. If you're tuning in and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and follow all of our pages, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Big shout out to Ant Saracusa for our intro song. Thank you, everybody. Go follow him on Instagram at Just Ant. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mike Hertz, and we're going to start the show.
Nice.
Mike Hertz.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it today. You want to know why?
Getting a little nicer.
I'll stand on that island. I will.
I like it.
Guys.
It's intriguing. I've been reading.
I saw that you voted yes. Guys, he's referring to Mr. Alonzo Pauls over there is referring to me saying that Jalen Hurts will be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. And no, I'm not the only one. ESPN actually has him 10th. I just noticed that. So that's what he's referring to. I stand by it. Listen to the last show from Monday night. It aired on Monday night on our live stream, and it was posted on Apple Podcasts and Spotify on Tuesday morning. So listen up to that segment to hear the top 10 quarterbacks. But that being said, you guys ready for some tight ends?
Let's do it.
Pause.
Yeah, what?
Whoa, family. Family.
I mean, I'm ready for them.
Phil, you know the drill. Come on, Phil.
I sling heavy pickle.
That's a good one, too.
That was actually
Let's rock. Let's rock, baby. Let's rock.
There we go.
Yeah, let's
There
get
we
it
go.
cracking out here.
Top 10 tight ends. Point per reception leagues, PPR. All right. Same structure as last week. I'm going to give it to Nick first this week, and you're going to give me your list. We're going to pass it off to Mike. You're going to come back to me, and then we're going to discuss everyone's reasoning.
Okay.
Okay? Audience, all right? P&I audience, I want you guys to comment as much as possible with questions, or you could talk your shit and take a dump on our lists. And, yeah, like, give us your feedback, and we'll get to as many comments as possible, okay? Thank you very much in advance. Nick, take it away.
Yeah, let's roll. So my top 10 tight ends, I'm going to start with number 10 to 1. I got Mike Gesicki. 9, Noah Fant. 8, Robert Tonyan. 7, Logan Thomas. 6, TJ Hawkinson. 5, Kyle Pitts. 4, Mark Andrews. 3, George Kittle. 2, Darren Waller. And number 1, Travis Kelce. Bottom line.
Attaboy. Smart man again.
It's a no-brainer.
Smart man again.
Yeah.
Invest in the Chiefs, guys. Mike, take it away.
All right, so number 10, I have Robert Tonyan. Number 9, I have Mike Gesicki. Number 8, I have Tyler Higbee. Number 7, I have Noah Fant. Number 6, I have TJ Hawkinson. Number 5, I have Mark Andrews. Number 4, I have Kyle Pitts. Number 3, I have Darren Waller. Number 2, I have George Kittle. And number 1, Travis Kelce.
All right.
Okay. I got
Interesting.
questions for you.
Interesting. All right, so number 10 for me, Tyler Higbee. Number 9, Robert Tonyan. Number 8, Noah Fant. Number 7, TJ Hawkinson. Number 6, Dallas Goedert. Number 5, Mark Andrews. Number 4, Kyle Pitts. Number 3, George Kittle. Number 2, Darren Waller, the baller. Number 1, Travis Kelce, the obvious. All right?
Absolutely.
Where should we start?
I want to start where the hell you have Goddard at 6.
Let me tell you one thing, Nick, right away. 9th last year in PPR points per game with Jalen Hurts as a starter. Target share, I believe, was in the top 10 as well. That's the biggest reason. Also, well, here's the thing. One concern right there.
Ertz.
Okay? Yes and no.
That's why he's not on my list.
My
Yeah, me too.
concern, I don't know if you guys saw, I was going to wait till the end of the show, but Tyree Jackson, the little wonder who, well, he's not little, he's a 6'8" beast, quarterback turned tight end that I thought for sure was making the Eagles 53-man roster. He now has, let me see, it's a long-term injury, so he's going to be out for a while.
8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah, I believe it was 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah. He has a fractured bone in his back.
Yep, 8 to 10 weeks. He landed hard in the end zone or something.
Yeah.
Really sad to hear that. But that, to me, eliminates any chance that the Eagles are going to trade Zach Ertz before the season starts. I think he might be a trade deadline kind of guy. So he's sticking around, and he should be productive. Let me remind you guys that everybody and anybody that's been at Eagles camp has been reporting that the tight ends have all looked amazing. Goddard and Ertz. Yes, so that is a concern for me. But I definitely want to point out that Goddard was a guy that Hurts looked to all the time. And the tight end position is still relatively weak. Like, it's deeper this year, but we don't have a lot of top-heavy guys. So that 6 to 10 range, I feel like, could be very interchangeable right now.
Okay.
So it's part talent, it's part opportunity, and it's part, I think that he leaned on him a lot.
Yeah, I just feel like 6 is kind of high. I mean, I like Logan Thomas. I'm surprised you don't have him in your top 10.
No Logan Thomas. He was really close for me. I have him at 11 probably, if you ask me right now. Either him or Mike Gesicki. Biggest concern with Gesicki for me, because I know you both had him on your list, is Tua. Period.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about Tua, but at the same time, I think Gesicki gets a lot of targets.
He's just inconsistent week to week, though. And it's not him. I think it's just an offense thing. It's Tua and it's the offense.
And I think with Tua, for me, the reason I had him there, I'm not a Tua fan, obviously you guys know.
Yeah.
My thing with Gesicki is young quarterbacks tend to rely on that security blanket.
Typically, yes.
So I
I'm not
feel like the
denying
targets
that.
would be there. Because I don't know if Tua can push the ball down the field.
But that's the thing for me.
Well, he
is
was
like,
ranked 7th last year. Gesicki.
He also
had a
had
great year.
Fitzpatrick, though.
Yeah, he did. And that's why I have
I
Logan
loved
Thomas.
him with Fitzpatrick. I loved him.
And that's why I have Logan Thomas at 7. He had 110 targets last year.
That's understandable.
That's volume right there.
I had him, it was between him and Tanyan for me at number 10. Logan Thomas and Tanyan.
I'm not going to argue that either, by the way. Like, Thomas should have a great year.
I'm a fan of him, actually.
Fitzpatrick definitely likes the tight end. And there is an opportunity there. He's got nobody behind him. He's an active pass catcher in that offense. The offense could be low-key underrated. I don't know if they'll be consistent week to week. But, yeah, he broke out in a pretty big way last year. So I'm not going to argue that. Like, he's neck and neck right there.
And look, I don't put too much stock into preseason, but when I watched the Dolphins last week in week 1, Tua was relying on Gesicki a lot. And he actually had a nice big play of 50 yards, and he can run after the catch.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I think he's great. That's why I have him in my top 10, honestly.
I mean, the ability's there. There's not even a question about that. But that's the same thing, though. Like 6 through 10, for me, like the ability is definitely there. It's just like, how much can you count on so-and-so? To me, I think that at least we saw Hurts and Goddard have a connection, whereas Tua we're a little iffy on. Let's see. We had Hawkinson. I had Hawkinson at 7.
So what you're saying is 6 to 10 is like interchangeable per se.
They could be, but
Okay.
I went with the guys who I think will get the most opportunity as well as a combination of their talent. And I think Goddard's just taken off in a big way this
You
year.
didn't have Logan Thomas in your top 10, did you?
No, I had Robert Tanyan over him.
So I had him at
Not
9.
bad.
What's up?
That's not terrible.
That was the only reason for me is like I think he gained Rodgers' trust last year, and they're a high-scoring offense, and he got the red zone targets. What?
Expect negative regression in the touchdown department. He's not gonna have 11.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean he's gonna disappear all of a sudden.
And not for nothing, you could make an argument for Gronk in that area too.
Yeah.
But it's just their
loaded,
wide
man.
receivers are so loaded. I don't know
and
how much
they're-
volume he's
Well,
going
they
to
got
still got
Brady and
O.J.
Howard.
Howard.
Yeah, they got Brady and Howard.
That's what I'm saying. They're even loaded at tight end.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, he'll be a red zone option at least. We can count on that. But Tunyon, I mean, he's just a big target in the red zone. The Packers didn't really add any other receiving weapons, and yes, he gained Aaron Rodgers' trust. And this is not just an Aaron Rodgers here, like the MVP from last year. This is a motivated guy who wants to prove like I'm the fucking man still, and like this team needs me kind of thing. And we didn't talk about this last week. I thought it would come up, but we just assumed like, all right, he's always going to be top of the rankings, Aaron Rodgers. But I thought one of us would mention like, we all think he's going to be the fucking man this year, right?
I think he's going to be awesome. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder.
I mean, you even say it, Mike. You had
Yeah.
him top 3, right?
Yeah, I have
This
him
is
number
a
3.
known Aaron Rodgers hater right here.
Yeah, the biggest. And I think he's going to have an awesome year this year. I really do.
Like, do you want to fuck with that guy when he's on a mission?
No.
Because I don't.
So let me ask you guys, who in your top 5 that you are most worried about?
None.
I have one. Mark Andrews.
You're worried about him?
I'm worried. I'm worried. I mean, last year he had 88 targets. He was ranked 4th last year, but I'm just worried about Baltimore's offensive weapons. I think a lot of people are going to key on him. They're going to stack the box, like I said on Monday.
You love that logic. Man, you say
it's
that
true.
a lot.
The fucking Titans did it in the playoffs 2 years ago, and it worked.
That's one team, though.
I seen it last week.
Yeah, real shit though. It worked.
I'm just going to point out one thing.
It's a blueprint to stop them, Matt. And I think I'm worried about Mark Andrews. So, I mean, I could see Logan Thomas having a monster year.
It's a blueprint that only worked for that one team.
I know, but no Marquise Brown, no Bateman.
For now, and yes, that's a loss, but don't you think that would translate into a larger target share for Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Who already does have it. He has the target share, and he has the red zone targets. He's one of the biggest red zone weapons in the league.
Yes and no, because my thing is he had 88 targets, but he only had 58 catches. So 30 of them were incomplete.
I mean, he was nicked up last year, too, a little bit, for the record.
I would say Andrews, if I had to choose one, but I mean, for me, the first 4 that I have, I think they are concrete.
Yeah,
me too.
Now, now that order may change a little bit given the teams, I guess, how they're doing in the year. But for me, those 4 are concrete.
Well, one of you guys had Andrews ahead of Pitts. Who was it?
I did.
Yeah, you had him at 4, right?
Yeah.
Because to me, I think my top 4, I think Pitts is glue at 4, maybe even 3.
I won't be surprised.
At 3?
Possibly.
So look,
over Kittle?
Possibly. And the thing is, I was changing Kittle and Waller back and forth for me.
I was too. I'm not gonna lie. I like Kittle at 2, but Waller, his targets are just out of this world. 145 targets last year. 145.
I love that you said that. I love that you said that.
And he had the same amount of targets as Kelsey.
That's exactly my logic. I'm gonna piggyback right here. Okay, 4th highest target share in the NFL.
Yeah.
Waller the baller. 28% target share. You think that's going to change? Hell no.
Absolutely.
They lost Nelson Aguilar. I mean, they lost weapons.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that it's going to stay right there. They figured out, we got to feed this guy. There was 9 games where he had 15-plus points last year. He led all tight ends with 22 red zone targets. That's the 9th most in the NFL at 9.1 targets per game. So that is why I chose him over Kittle, because he literally is the Raiders' offense. They run the offense through him, and Kittle's on a team that is just loaded. So he will be a beast.
And I'm not worried about Kittle's production either. It's just last year he got hurt, right? And San Fran's offense, like Kyle Shanahan's whole system, runs through the tight end. Because last year when he got hurt, Jordan Reed was balling a little bit before he got concussed for the 10th time. Yeah. So, I mean, their offense runs through tight end, so I'm not worried about Kittle at all.
No, not even a little bit. I think he could, these are guys that could easily, those 3 could easily finish 1, but Travis Kelce just God.
Well, yeah, plus his
Travis
quarterback.
Kelce is so good that he would rank in the top 10 wide receivers. I might even have that stat here.
Right.
Actually, yeah, I do.
Now, my thing is, I don't know if I would say that one of the Travis, Kittle, or Waller would slip out of the top 3, but I believe that Pitts is going to be a monster year, especially with those 2 wide receivers on the outside. I think he could creep up into that 2 or 3 range.
I'll give you a reason why, but go ahead.
The Falcons' head coach is Arthur Smith. Mm-hmm. Do you know what his position was prior to this for the last 2 years?
Former tight end coach. Offensive coordinator.
And a quarterback's coach. Mm-hmm. So he saved and revived Ryan Tannehill. And now he's working with Kyle Pitts. And he was the reason that Jonnu Smith broke out.
Thank you very much.
So I think Pitts is in a perfect position to succeed and succeed expectations to where, just a dominant tight end.
To add on to that, Mike.
Ferkser.
Because I was going to bring up that exact point. Okay. The Titans last year under Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator, okay, the Titans were 3rd in tight end target share and tight end red zone targets last season. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Atlanta's just not that good. They're going to be in a lot of games where they have to throw coming from behind. The run game is still suspect. So that offense literally might run through him and Ridley. I mean, he's got that ability where he can slide out wide, too. So I think that he's going to be featured right out of the gate.
Gage isn't bad either.
No.
He's gonna need somebody out there.
Their offense will score points.
Yeah.
And I think Matt Ryan, I see a lot of people saying he'll probably have a down year. I think he'll be consistent.
Well, they still have Ridley.
Yeah.
He's a baller.
Yeah, so you got Ridley and Pitts, and I mean,
They got
the
Mike
offensive
Davis too.
line's still pretty good.
They got Mike Davis too. Not saying that he's going to be that crazy, but he's at least.
might.
I think he could be respectable to the point where you're not just going to forget about him. Like
should
it's
be an
Wendell
upgrade.
Smallwood.
He should be an upgrade, right? You would
Yes,
agree with
yes.
Well,
So, I
yeah,
mean-
last year they had who? Todd Gurley? I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing. He can catch the ball too. So, I mean, that's an outlet for Matt Ryan. So, I think the offense will score plenty of points. It's just that the defense kind of worries me, and that's why they'll be throwing the ball a ton. They already do.
Who's your sleeper tight end outside of your top 10?
Outside of the top 10. My sleeper tight end was Tyler Higbee,
Okay.
who most people don't have in the top 10.
I don't.
I do.
I can explain that.
I
if
have a
you
number.
Want.
I have number 8.
Do you want me to give you that right now?
Shoot.
All right. The reasoning for this: Gerald Everett is now on the Seahawks. That could be a sleeper, by the way, Nick.
Been screaming.
But look what Stafford did with T.J. Hawkinson last year. So he does like to look there. Like when he actually has tight end talent, he does look there. That's one. 5 games without Gerald Everett in 2019. This is like playoff run, okay? I want to remind you guys of this. I want to remind the audience. Higbee averaged 11.4 targets per game, 21.4 points per game, and he basically literally won fantasy titles for everybody that year because he was so good in the playoffs. So that's one thing. That's
Ant had him.
so you see the theme here.
Regular.
You see where I'm going with this? In 5 games last year where he had at least 5 targets, he averaged 14.6 point per game. So what does this translate to? When he gets the work, he produces. And it's not like he can't play. It's just he wasn't used that much last year, and he didn't have the role to himself.
And to piggyback on that, in Hawkinson's final season with the Lions, he had 101 targets, second on the team, and 5th in the NFL among tight ends.
Massive.
So he did it with Brandon Pettigrew, Eric Ebron, T.J. Hawkinson. Matt Stafford goes to his tight end, and now Higbee is the only tight end in Los Angeles.
And he's pretty good.
Well, Pettigrew, what the fuck did he do? I mean, like,
Oh, there
seriously.
he is again.
No, seriously,
right,
what did he
right.
do?
But he was still getting the
Ebron
targets.
was
collected a
good.
check.
Ebron was good, but he was just injury prone. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so what you're saying is Stafford is the reason why you have Higbee in your
It's
top
that,
10?
and it's opportunity. I mean, they lost Josh Reynolds too, so that's something that's little something. I think that Van Jefferson might be a sleeper, by the way, at wide receiver in deeper leagues. So, but like I said,
Well, my sleeper is going to be Anthony Ferkser, straight up. Like I said, the Titans are loaded. They can run the football. They have Julio, and they have A.J. Brown on the outside. I see the seams opening up, and like you said, the Titans go to their tight ends.
I mean, no
And
Arthur
Tannehill
Smith.
does. That's what he does.
So no Arthur Smith, but Tannehill still
Is-
has
yeah,
proven he likes to
he's in
throw
my
there.
top 10,
It don't
yeah.
matter that there's a change there.
That's
I'm not really
ingrained in
worried
him
about
now.
it.
That's what he knows.
Exactly. So I think he's a good sleeper.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
sleeper
and then
target.
like when Johnny Smith went down last year, he actually rose to the occasion. I was looking at him like, damn, this guy's scoring like every week. Even in the playoffs against
Yep.
the Patriots, he scored.
A sleeper in deep leagues could be Dawson Knox too.
Dawson Knox.
I mean,
I liked him for sure.
they should trade for Zach Ertz of all people.
He
They
would
really
be
should.
a monster on there.
It would be a perfect fit because I don't think the ability is gone. I think last year was just a really, really screwed up year all the way around with the Eagles. And yes, he was hurt. And yes, he kind of lost his job. So, it was kind of a screwed up thing. This
I have
guy
a-
who 2
I have a
years
question
ago.
for you guys, though.
Go ahead.
Who do you guys like more, Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith on New England?
Smith.
Jonnu Smith because he's healthy. Hunter Henry gets injured a lot, I feel like.
Smith being the more, I would say probably the speedier and more athletic guy, but that doesn't mean I think that he's a better player. I just think that you can at least trust he'll be on the field. Because that's always been the argument with Hunter Henry. He could be a top 5 guy every year.
Oh yeah,
a
he's
stud.
awesome. Yeah, and they paid him like it too.
Yeah, they paid both of them.
Yeah,
They spent a lot of money there, and I could really honestly see them both performing well. It's just a scene where we need to see how it sifts out. We need to know who the quarterback's going to be. And right now, I'm thinking that it's got to be Mac Jones.
It's going to be Mac Jones.
It's got to be.
Dude,
Cam Newton, check down king, is getting trashed by the Eagles DBs.
here's the thing though.
You hear that?
Here's the thing. If Mac Jones starts and he does poor, and the Patriots bench him, what's that do for him moving forward? You just
Reset.
You can't.
Mac Wentz.
You wasted a top 15 overall pick. You can't. You
You got to learn if he can play.
I don't think Belichick is the type to do that, though. He didn't do it with Drew Bledsoe.
I think they prefer that Cam starts, but I just don't think he has it anymore. I think he's a solid backup who can win some games in this league, but he's no longer Cam MVP. He's no longer Cam starting quarterback.
I can't believe they signed him back.
I don't mind that at all. With the money they paid him and being able to run the system, having a guy there that has been there, done that, and he is a leader. We can't knock that. I mean, I would assume that they would like for him to start though, but it's pretty clear at this point that Mac is better, and I'd take my shot there. I mean, they invested a top 15 pick. That's a little better than having to invest a top 10 pick. So, you know, what are you going to do? You got to find out if he can play at some point.
I think Cam's going to start the season just because of the reason I said.
And if they do that, I mean, this is Bill Belichick here. Does he want to lose games? I don't think so. I think that he trusts this. Remember, this is Nick Saban, his guy. He trusts Mac Jones, probably, I would assume.
Yeah, but the people and the Patriots players respect Cam Newton. They're going to play for him.
I don't doubt that at all either.
Yeah.
But
I
ability-wise,
just think he's going to start. I
not
think
to
he'll
go
start
into
the
that
season.
argument.
Yeah.
I wanted to say one thing though about Travis Kelce. Okay.
Monster.
I was holding this for you guys.
Pause.
This is exactly what we were talking about a few minutes ago. His PPR points per game last season would have had him finish 11th overall at quarterback, 3rd at running back, and 3rd at wide receiver. That's how good this guy is. He finished as the tight end 1 every single year since 2016. Every single year. I got more. At least 14 fantasy points in 13 of his 15 outings last year. There's more. 20 or more points in 10 of those games. He's unbelievable. He's putting up quarterback production at tight end. That's unbelievable.
Let me ask you a question.
He's investable. Like I was a guy I would never consider, like even when Gronk was in his prime, I will never take a tight end first 2 rounds. This is glaring, guys. You might have to consider him. I would say late second round. I'm not that type of guy though.
So would you say who's better, Gronk or Kelce in their prime?
I think Kelsey's a more complete player. But Gronk as a receiving option, probably I would still give the nod right now.
Okay. I think overall Gronk is way better.
It's getting close.
He could block, and he was just a force. The Patriots had no wide receivers, so he was getting a lot of attention, and he was still crushing everybody.
It's getting closer, though.
Fucking
we have
spiking
to
on their ass
like,
every fucking week.
Kelsey probably has a number of years left in his prime, so we have to at least acknowledge it could be close in a year or two. It's possible. At this pace, it's unbelievable. I mean, he's doing things that's never happened before with 1,000-yard seasons, back to back to back. No one's done that at the tight end position, and he's got the volume.
I don't think
You know,
I don't think Kelce will ever pass Gronk for me.
I know you love Gronk. I know
love
you
Gronk.
do, and I do too. I do
Gronk.
too.
He's-
Real fast.
I loved him even on the pads.
Hold on. I like what James just said. Kelce for fantasy, Gronk in real life.
Because James thinks that Gronk is a more well-rounded
I did that
tight
too,
end.
dude.
He can block and he can catch, like I said. He gets open. He'll take hits. He don't give a fuck. He will. He takes a beating. And guess what? Still here. And he won a ring last year.
And he was important.
Screen
I mean,
that.
he came up clutch in the big games. So, one other guy though, guys, that I want to touch on that we referenced last week, and this is before we move on, and maybe a couple more questions will come in. Audience, make sure you ask your questions because we're going to move on in a few minutes. But we were talking about Noah Fant last week, and I think that you guys had him in your top 10.
9.
9 for you. I had him at 7.
I have it
8.
7.
I had him at 8. But key thing with him was just health. The opportunity was already there. The ability was clearly there. He might be the fastest tight end in the league. So I have no issue with that at all, regardless of quarterback, because he had a connection with Drew Lock even.
Yeah. And they get Cortland Sutton back. So I think that helps him.
It opens things up a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, the only thing with him is his touchdown production last year. He had 3 touchdowns, which
Yeah.
actually hurt his fantasy.
it should be better this year. I think he'll have a positive regression.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm not worried about him. He had 93 targets last year with inconsistent quarterback play. Who do you have? Who was his quarterback last year?
Kendall Hinton for one game.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I like Fan a lot. I think he's going to have a really good year.
I love his upside.
Yeah.
And I think there was one other guy. We talked about Hawkinson just last year, but this year, though, I think people might have some concerns. I want to address that real quick because I had him at 7, and some people might think I'm nuts for that. But no more Kenny Galladay, no more Marvin Jones, and Jared Goff loves the tight end. The team sucks. They'll be throwing a ton. Easy logic for me.
I think he's going to eat up
And
all
he's
the
a stud.
targets. I have exactly what you just said. I have written down.
Right.
Those are all the reasons why I think I have him at number 6. I know he finished 4 last year, so a slight drop off. But I mean, I think he's going to get who is Goff going to throw to?
Exactly.
Their line sucks. I mean, outside of DeAndre Swift, but I mean, I wouldn't even touch him at this point.
I agree with you, by the way, Mike. We got one comment here. This is the second time I've seen this now from Papa Pasillo and Will Haig. I thought Pepsi was sponsoring the show. Mike, what are you doing over there with a Coke can? Should I even respond to that?
You should address it.
Look, I would
It's
love.
true.
I would
It's
love.
facts.
Listen, I would love for Pepsi to endorse this show.
It's a
GPS him
straight
if he
fact.
needed dressing.
But I've always been a Coke guy.
Whoa.
Not that kind.
All right, just making sure.
Never. Not once. Not ever. But doesn't mean we wouldn't welcome it.
Audience, look out for Logan Thomas. Thank me later.
And I don't see any other questions. So that being said, if you guys have some questions that roll in a few minutes, I might give it some notice. Other than that, though, there's your top 10 tight ends, and we're gonna move on. All right,
Let's move on. Let's rock.
Phil, you want to hit some music? We gotta get pumped. Real quick before we dive into it, Nick.
Before we dive in, everybody, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We would greatly appreciate it.
All right.
I feel like a fucking robot now.
it's perfect every time.
I'm leaning back in my seat so you can't
Perfect.
see me out of the corner of your eye. there.
Also, everybody who is watching the live stream now, please share it. It will be posted on Facebook, so please do that and get more people involved.
Appreciate it, Nick. I see one comment that came in. Are you named Coke because you're so delicious? Thanks, Andrew John.
Oh, wow.
Man,
Seducing you.
getting some flirty activity on the chat.
Seduced by
Freak
a cougar.
ass. Smooth ass.
Seduced by a cougar.
But guys, we're staying on the West Coast again. This time we're doing NFC West. We're going to preview this division. It might be the deepest division in the entire league. Actually, it probably is. Like, let's not kid around here. There's 4 teams that legitimately could make the playoffs or could win the division. It's unbelievable how these teams have built, and it should be this way for a while. So, first, I guess we have to start with division winner picks. I mean, unless you guys want to wait till the end of the segment for that, and we could preview all 4 teams first and state the case.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
up
let's
to
do that.
you.
Let's do that.
So we'll hold off on that. And also, we're going to touch on whether or not more than one team can make the playoffs. All right? So, same thing as last week, though. Fantasy notes when possible. And we're going to give some storylines. So, to start, we got the LA Rams. Big storylines this year. The Matt Stafford trade. The quarterback change. That could be huge for them. That's what everyone's banking on. Cam Akers out for the season. So, Darrell Henderson's the starting running back. That's a pretty big deal. They added Deshaun Jackson. Not sure what that does. Maybe a deep threat that
Nothing.
opens things up. I mean, it's possible. You got to still
He'll be
respect it.
He's going to get
He'll
hurt
be
in the
out
first
after
half.
after week 3, he's
Yeah.
gone.
You got to still respect the speed.
Yeah, he got Tommy John when he signed his contract.
And then also, guys, something that's not getting talked about enough. They lost a lot of defensive talent on that number 1 overall defense, and they lost Brandon Staley, who was the defensive coordinator, did a phenomenal job. He got the head coaching job with the Chargers. So, I mean, what do you think here? I want to hear your thoughts. What are you guys thinking? Because I think that they were the favorite initially, and then Cam tore his Achilles, and then we've been talking a different tone since, I think.
Well, it's been back and forth between the Niners and the Rams as far as the favorites go. But, yeah, I think the Rams are going to have a great year still. They got the quarterback now in Stafford. He's an upgrade over Goff. They have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Deshaun Jackson, Van Jefferson, Higbee, like you alluded to. I think Cam Akers was a big loss. But at the same time, I think Darrell Henderson is going to actually play pretty well. He can run the football. So I'm not really worried about them, honestly. I think their defense is still there. They have Ramsey. They have Donald. And you think he's the best player in the league. So
He could be.
That's shot.
I said Mahomes is the best player in the league. But
Okay.
Aaron Donald is a close second for me.
Oh, my God.
He's a close second.
Okay.
You're not going to like who I pick third either, by the way. I'll wait a minute. But
Please.
sorry.
No, I mean,
I'm not sorry.
I like the Rams this year. I think they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, they did lose a couple pieces on defense. But I still think they're going to be, one of the top teams in the NFC.
Yeah, to echo what you said, I mean, Donald and Ramsey on defense, I mean, that goes without saying. They're both of them are. You have your leader on your defensive line, your leader and your cornerback. I think Matthew Stafford's going to have an awesome year. The Cam Akers was a big loss, but with Darrell Henderson, I think you'll be able to switch him out to do what he has to do. And I mean, they still have Sean McVay, who's a top coach in the NFL. So I'm not worried about those. I'm not worried about those losses to the point where I think they're going to like totally regress.
I'm probably right there with you guys. I do think that Cam Akers is a big loss, but the drop off, Henderson as a second string back is as good as it gets. So my concern with Henderson is just if he could stay healthy, because he has been injury prone, and he's a smaller guy. So I know that they have another guy they're working in. Don't remember the name off the top of my head.
Listen to Nicholas Anthony.
Brady is better than Donald. Come on. Louder.
Let me see this. Yeah, sorry, Pops, but this isn't a contest for who's the greatest of all time. This is the best player. This is about being the best in the league right now. This is the most dominant defensive force in the league, hands down.
Oh, this is about the guy that just won his 7th Super Bowl, I think, with a new team. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're going to discount what the
That's
Bucs
right.
defense did,
That's
too.
right. I forgot.
He's not the best player in the league.
I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
But
How
he's a
could I
GOAT.
forget? Absolutely.
But that's it. I'm only giving you that. That's it. And you just hold on. I got worse. You're going to be pissed in a few minutes.
Carry on.
Matt Stafford, though, for those people who say, he's got no playoff experience, this and that, let's remind you guys of one thing, and this should be relevant based on what we just said about Tom Brady. This is a team game. The Detroit Lions have been fucking awful, putrid, embarrassing, forever, okay? This is the best organization he'll ever be a part of, probably, even with the defensive losses. But this is a team game. And Tom Brady, for as amazing as he was in the Super Bowl, that defense was the statement in that game. And I even said that was one of the calmest, coolest performances I've ever seen by a quarterback. It was just easy.
It was just regular.
But guess what?
Yeah.
The defense,
regular.
the defense stole that show. I just want to remind you of that. It's a team game.
I understand that.
He's not the best player in the league.
I understand.
We're not making
that.
about that.
Leadership matters.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's
But he's
part
not
of
the
being
best player in the league.
That's part of being the best player in the league.
I'll take him, though, in any clutch moment, number one guy I want.
Okay.
Number one guy. If I'm fighting for my life, give me Tom Brady. I know that he's going to show up with, bazookas while everyone else is, at the fight with knives, So,
Best ever.
but yeah, I think that's a pretty substantial quarterback upgrade that we see some people giving it love, and we see a lot of people kind of knocking it based on what they paid for him. I don't know how you could do that. I mean, if you think you're a Super Bowl team, you go out and get your quarterback. So the ability's always been there for Matthew Stafford. But I will say one thing that does worry me about this team, besides the changes on defense. The offensive line is iffy. I mean, you saw what happened when Andrew Whitworth went down last year. I mean, he doesn't miss games ever.
I feel though
He's literally, 42?
I think Stafford can negate that though, where I think Jared Goff couldn't overcome that.
He should. I mean, he's got a quick release, and he's a better decision maker without question. But still, Stafford is a guy who's gotten hurt in his career too. I mean, he's taken some hits, and this is the blind side we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's not even where I'm worried. I mean, yeah, is he getting up there in age? Sure, he could still play, but the line as a whole is iffy. You guys got anything to add on the Rams, though?
No, I think they'll be a playoff team.
I think so, too.
Possibly
Yeah,
division
I'm the
winner,
same way.
but we'll get there.
We'll talk about
We'll
that.
get there.
Mike, you think they're a playoff team, though?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so there's that. Next team, Seattle Seahawks. Everyone forgets that they won a division last year. They were 12-4, even with the issues on defense. I mean, that defense has been mediocre for a while. That's supposed to be Pete Carroll's thing. The defense used to carry them. They were 12-4 last year, guys. It was a tale of two halves last season. First half of the season, they let Russ cook, and they looked untouchable. Russ was your MVP candidate, number one guy last year for half the season, and then suddenly everything changed, and the offense was totally different. It was a train wreck. I don't know what happened. It was just so bizarre. It was bizarre. They went away from what was working.
It's because late in the season, you got to be able to run the football. You have to.
But they're a team that should be able to do it. It's just weird. Like, they forgot what got them that far. The balance was out of whack at that point, and then they became a complete run-first team like they were 2 years ago.
To me, though, that's like Pete Carroll's MO at this point. Like, he's inconsistent, and the decisions that he makes are so questionable because it's like if 5 plays are working or whatever is working, he's like, okay, that's working. Let's do something else. And I just never understand it, and their O-line isn't that good. So,
Right.
like, Russ is constantly running
Yeah.
for his life, and then you have Chris Carson and Rashad Penny sometimes that you're sprinkling in. But it's just like with the Seahawks, even though they went 12-4, I just like you never know on a weekly basis like what's coming, and it's just like it gets so confusing when you're trying to assess them. I mean, obviously, like I said, they won the division and stuff like that, but it's just weird because it's like it literally is like 2 different teams week to week.
Yeah, you
They
don't know,
somehow find a way to win though.
you don't know what you're getting week in and week out with them.
You just know that Russell Wilson's going to make something happen, and they're probably going to win a tight game. But that's what happens when you get late into the season. You can't always do that.
Right.
You can't rely on just winning on Russell Wilson winning you that close game every time because it doesn't always fall like that.
Yeah, because you play teams like the Packers, the Bucks,
Yeah.
the top tier teams in the NFC.
I mean, the concerns that are still present with this team are concerns they've had for a number of years now. They still haven't gotten Russ an offensive line. What are you doing in the front office? Like, this is supposed to be one of the top 5 best front offices in the league, and they've been kind of iffy the last few years. And the defense, I mean, yeah, they went out and got Jamal Adams, who we will talk about him. I mean, we might as well just say it now, but Jamal Adams got the new contract earlier in the week, and he's the highest paid safety in football. I don't think he's the best safety in football. I was going to ask you guys that, but he's right up there. They went and got him, and they still got Bobby Wagner, but they lost some pieces on defense too. Like, the defense is still to me.
I feel like Jamal Adams is a headache.
He has been kind of a headache,
Yeah,
right?
like
the
I
same
feel
way.
like he's a headache. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that contract. I think they might regret it.
But Russell Wilson went public with his comments on Twitter in full support, like just saying how fortunate he is to have him. But so I got to take that into account. But still, same concerns are still there with this team. Like, what happened to the vaunted Seattle defense of the past?
They don't have a pass rush.
It's just weird, man.
They don't have it.
They really don't.
There's no pass rush on that team.
I mean,
They
it
got
concerns me.
They got Bobby Wagner, but like their corners are okay. They're nothing special.
Yeah, I mean,
I
they
think
lost
I think
Griffin,
they're
too.
missing that on their defense.
So, I mean, the key thing with this team, it's pretty obvious. The offense, even with the shitty offensive line, it's a phenomenal offense. It has a chance to be one of the top 5 offenses in the league. And it probably should be. I mean, you got DK Metcalf. You got Tyler Lockett, who's probably one of the most underappreciated weapons in the game. Chris Carson, also one of the most underappreciated running backs in the league. Did you see his contract? I mean, if you guys didn't think that he was the lead dog there, you should know. It's pretty fucking obvious. He got paid. He's a legit top 10 running back in this league.
I like him. I don't love him.
Just got to stay healthy.
That's my point.
But he's literally a locomotive. He can do everything, too. He improved as a pass catcher. He's a phenomenal running back. He's like, I mean, this is a guy, I will pound the table for him every year, and he will be my 3rd-round pick in fantasy every single year As long as you people let me get him, like, he's going to keep being my 3rd-round pick. He's going to give me 10 touchdowns a year, and he's going to give me plenty of work on the ground.
And he's also going to sit out some games and get 700 yards for the season.
Yeah, but remember one thing, though. Remember last year, he was coming off a big injury the year before.
That's my
And he
point.
looked just fine. I actually think they didn't cut him loose last year.
His health concerns me.
They didn't cut him loose enough last year.
Questionable.
They were kind of bubble wrapping him.
Questionable coaching.
Exactly. I mean, but it's safe to say, though, the Rashad Penny thing is a thing of the past. He is coming back, and he'll be a nice change of pace, but he's not a threat to Chris Carson. So all you fantasy people who don't respect Chris Carson, you're going to learn today. Go look it up.
I might learn.
Go look it up. And they got Gerald Everett. We just talked about that.
He'll be on IR for a couple weeks.
Hey, but you know what? As a 3rd-round pick, if he has that potential to win you those playoff games,
He's a
at the
value
end,
pick for you then. That's what you're saying.
he's
a
more
value
than a
pick.
value pick. He's just underappreciated. He really is.
Well, then I underappreciate him.
I'm trying to give out some
I
good
know.
notes. And
I'm
look,
just giving
I'm sacrificing my fantasy
perspective.
teams by putting that out there.
No, I hear you,
I'm putting
man.
all the information out there.
Who do you like better, Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf?
Metcalf. But, I mean, Lockett, there's no reason he can't be a top 10 PPR option. There's no reason he can't.
That's Mark's boy,
I know.
Tyler Lockett.
I'm not saying he will be. I think Metcalf's going to be top 5 this year. He was last year.
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
sure.
He was awesome for me last year. I had him on my team, and he was outstanding.
I mean, he's a freak of nature. He should be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Yeah. Well, they got
Let's not go there.
Whiteside.
I'm trying. Every time I think about DK Metcalf's talent, I have to think about that. It's wired in my brain at this point, and it drives me insane.
I know.
But, yeah. And they got Dwayne Eskridge, who might be a sleeper slot guy for them at some point, but not quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite. So, playoff team, though, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they're a certain playoff team. I'm going back and forth with the division winners here. Like, I don't even know.
So I'm still in my head.
I
thinking-
literally-
about it because I'm like, shit, I don't know who to pick. Like, there's a couple teams that I like. There's one team I don't like, but we'll just
Yeah,
move on.
hold that,
let's
hold
move on.
that.
there.
But as we keep talking about this, though, it's like, it's making me think about.
Oh, I know.
Like, I've been going back and forth about it already. Anyway, San Francisco 49ers. They're back, I think. I mean, they had a rough year last year.
Mm-hmm.
But they draft Trey Lance. They traded a fuck ton to get up there to pick 3. So you obviously must believe in this guy, and he looks exceptionally talented. I mean, that's the first thing. There's a QB battle going on. Trey Lance versus Jimmy Garoppolo, who got them to a Super Bowl. That is a guy who will get hurt. So if he does start the season, I'm sure Trey Lance is going to play. But keep an eye on that. I really feel like at this point, when you make that investment, and Kyle Shanahan's a QB guru, and they got everything on that team. They got everything. They are the most balanced roster in this division, and one of the most balanced in the NFL when you eliminate quarterback, because that's the question mark with the team.
Yeah.
Quarterback and health. They return almost everybody to health. They were so hurt last year, okay? So they are the most balanced team in the division, right? You guys would agree?
Yeah.
And my thing is, too, with Jimmy G, and this goes to me having George Kittle second, I just think that if Jimmy G can stay healthy, him and Kittle are like brothers.
And don't
they
forget,
love each other.
Don't forget, they went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago,
Yeah.
too.
So, and I think that's being overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mohamed Sanu actually, I think, will have value in that locker room with the young receivers, with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and even Trey Lance, because he's a professional and he can show them how to be professionals. So I really like them. I don't really think it's a QB battle. I don't think Trey Lance is going to start the year. I don't even, if he did, I don't think that would be smart.
Oh, man, he's making it tough, though.
Yeah, that 4 for 15 performance was fantastic.
Bro,
But
I'm telling you right now, word out of camp.
Facts.
But no, so my thing is he hasn't
Word
played
out of
football in a
camp.
year. So I just don't think I wouldn't throw him into that fire. Now, granted, the last time he played, he had I think like 28 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Actually, I think it was 2 years. It's been 2 years now.
He played in 2019 and then 2020 was COVID. But I think the 49ers are going to be really good. They were just hurt last year and they got completely like wiped off the face of the earth, and that's not the case. It was just injuries.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on that. I mean, I think Jimmy G, if he is the quarterback, I'm not worried about the Niners at all. I think they're going to be still very, very tough, and they're going to be very good. Trey Lance, cool. He had a great preseason game. cool. But don't forget, 2011, Ryan Mallett was considered the sleeper of that draft, and his cleats didn't even get dirty. So I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna hold that opinion on Trey Lance until I see more.
Well,
I gotta see more than a preseason game. I don't put value into that shit. I don't.
I don't either. But I just want to say that there's a very realistic chance that he starts. I think more than any of us were accounting for. And if you asked me, I would have said Jimmy G would be starting the year. But man, it's going to be tough. I'm just telling you that right now. I think that they won't drop off much. Let's say they start the year with Jimmy G. I think they should still start off the year pretty well, but at some point he will get banged up because that's just his nature.
But I feel like everybody's underestimating Jimmy G.
He can
I feel
play.
like he's not trash, and I feel like that he's being talked about like he's trash. Like, just because you're injury prone doesn't mean you're trash. It just means you get injured.
I mean, he showed some issues last year when he did play. However, the guy did get him to the Super Bowl. You can't discount it.
And he was an overthrow away from giving them the lead.
I know.
Literally. I'm just
That's all
saying,
it was.
like,
Now, granted, he did overthrow him, but if he hits Emmanuel Sanders in the hands,
Mahomes will be 0-2 in the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Let me drink some.
Take a sip of that to that. Yeah.
best player in the NFL. I'm not tolerating that bullshit. Trey
Gabrielle.
Lance, though, if he does start the year, Nick's laughing. Oh, man. When we talk about Tom Brady, it always gets heated, and that's with all of us acknowledging he's the GOAT. Like, two of us here, two of the three of us, literally did not have Tom Brady as our GOAT in previous
The best
years.
ever. Don't ever
And we
question.
both-
You know better.
we
I
both-
conformed.
We both acknowledge that.
There's nothing I can say anymore. I can't say anything anymore.
Nick's going to defend this guy every time. But listen, if Trey Lance starts the year, even if he doesn't, this is a guy who literally could be a league winner fantasy option. That's how dynamic he is. He's got everything. He's got Brandon Ayuk, who we've already talked about in the past as being one of those guys that could ascend into the better receivers in the league. He is incredible. He's extremely dynamic. They're going to use him in all sorts of ways, and he already showed it with literally nothing at QB last year.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel is another one. They're almost cut from the same cloth. He's like built like a running back. He's going to catch a lot of passes, short spaces, but he could take it the distance, that kind of guy. George Kittle is right up there in the tight end argument.
I love George
There's
Kittle this year.
nothing different about George Kittle. He's healthy. You should trust him. He's a freaking monster.
So is
He's a
Ayuk.
beast. And Ayuk is so
I
good.
love Ayuk.
I
So
really
do I.
do too. Mo Sanu, though, that was a good point, Mike. He could be a low-key, kind of a slot guy, reliable pass-catching veteran.
Good
Not
on the
gonna-
sideline, good in camp, good in practice.
Well, the last time he was any good, guess who his offensive coordinator was? Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta.
Now, there's one thing I want to note, though, that no one talked about yet.
Mostert.
Mostert's a stud.
Beast.
Yo.
He would be a top 10 running back if he stays healthy.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Easy
He
speed.
was cooking last year.
Easy speed.
Absolutely cooking.
And he's a perfect fit for this system. But
He can
Trey
catch, he
Sermon,
can
though,
run.
Trey Sermon was a nice pick. This is going to be a nasty 1-2 punch, I think. I mean, they always have used a running back rotation, and these guys maintain relevance because they're just a phenomenal rushing attack. They're probably the best rushing team in the league. Facts. And their offensive line, awesome. Awesome. They're back at full strength. Their offensive line is awesome.
It's arguable.
But it's the best running scheme.
Yeah.
Not even a question.
Yeah, I do like their scheme. I like Shanahan's offense. He gets
amazing.
creative. He does gadgets, plays, gets his tight ends involved.
He is what the Eagles thought Chip Kelly was going to be.
I mean, look at the wide receivers they have: Deebo Samuel and Ayuk. They can all do those gadget plays. You know what I mean? And then they have fast running backs. They got Kittle. They're loaded.
I know. I like
They're
them
back.
a lot. I
They're
really
back.
do like them a lot.
Yeah.
But I want to point out one thing that is not getting talked about, even though they have a ton of defensive talent too. I mean, you get Nick Bosa back
Oh
too.
yeah.
Who, oh my
Beast.
God, the Bosa brothers
Certified
are nasty,
beast. Yeah.
nasty. But I want to point out, new defensive coordinator, guys. No one's talking about Robert Saleh leaving for the Jets head coaching job. He was absolutely, if not the best, one of the top few best defensive coordinators in the league.
He's awesome, man. I'm happy for him.
And respected.
They have one of the best linebacking cores in the league, led by Fred Warner. I'm not worried about the defense because they are so loaded. Like, at least, you know, like the Rams and 49ers have changed there, but the 49ers defense now has more talent. The Rams lost a number of names this year. The 49ers are just stacked. Look out, and here we are again. Now I'm talking myself back into that, man, I'm torn over these teams. But do you guys want to add any of the points about
I think
this team?
my only concern with the Niners would be their corners. That's really it. In division, going against DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, and Robert Woods, that could be trouble for them. And also D-Hop and AJ Green, right? Your boy AJ Green.
Well, I guess the hope would be in that case that the pass rush.
Would have to get there.
I mean,
right.
the pass rush is nasty.
Oh, it's there.
So,
It's definitely there. I just worry about their corners, honestly.
but other than that, though, I mean,
They can be had.
Facts.
they got Emmanuel Mosley and Jason Verrett, who are kind of like, they could be awesome, but is Jason Verrett going to stay healthy? That's the question of his career. He's always been a stud. But I mean, even at safety, they got Jimmy Ward and Jaquaski Tart. They got Eric Armstead at defensive end. These are guys that aren't household names that are studs. No one even realized that. They drafted Javon Kinlaw. He's going to start right away at defensive tackle. They're just loaded. And I mean, I guess it's fair to point out when we mentioned the offensive line, they signed Alex Mack, who's been a stud at center. He's been the anchor in Atlanta for years.
Yeah.
So he's always been good. He was good before he was a Falcon.
Yeah, it was on the Browns.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he can still play. And for what it's worth, you got to mention Kyle Juszczyk at fullback. He's used in a number of different ways. He's the best fullback in the league.
Oh, they also signed Clinton Dix. That's the best name of all time.
Wonder if he makes the team, honest to God.
I love that name.
It's a hell of a name. Oh, they got Michael Kendricks, too. But anyway.
I think we're all in agreement with the Niners, though. They'll be a
They're
playoff
awesome.
team. Yep.
So another playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
But lastly, we got to get to the Arizona Cardinals. And they've had a flurry of activity this year, too. We can't ignore what they've done. And they got an ascending young franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray.
And a garbage coach.
That's the biggest issue with this team. When you look around this division, what is the most glaring... I mean, the glaring concern
My
is their
issue,
garbage
dude,
coach.
that I have them coming in last in the division.
I
'Cause
agree.
I can't do Cliff Kingsbury. I think he stinks.
And
I think he should be on the hot seat.
he leaves a lot to be desired, and he should be on the hot seat.
You should have never hired him when you had Patrick Mahomes trash at Texas Tech, and then he comes in the NFL and is probably the best quarterback in the league, second to Tom Brady.
If he got fired last year, I would have justified it for you, and it would have been fine at me.
Kingsbury stinks.
He's not. He's supposed to be the genius offensive guy
Hell
with the
no.
play calling.
He's getting bailed out from Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray is a freak athlete,
With
even
these
though
Hail
he's 2
Marys.
foot tall.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's a freak athlete, and he's getting bailed out. And that's the only reason I don't believe in the Cardinals is because of Cliff Kingsbury. It's not a slight against Kyler Murray. It's not like they have D-Hop, Chase Edmonds I like this year. AJ Green I think will be okay because he won't be counted on. But I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm just staying away from that.
and you got Christian Kirk too, who's a stud.
Beast.
I forgot about him too, yeah.
James Conner signed there. He might be an inside runner if he can actually stay on the field.
I like Chase Edmonds.
I do too, but
I
I
love
just
Chase
don't
Edmonds.
know if he can do it for 17 games. Not just like obviously he's really small. He's a great fit for the offense.
I think he's a good flex option, though. I think
wouldn't-
he's a perfect flex.
He's always been
Flex
good.
and all.
Yeah.
He's always been good in fill-in duty. He whenever he had the chance to run away with the job, he didn't do it. So that'll be an interesting storyline for this team. But he is seemingly a good skill set for this offense. They like to play fast. They like to spread it out. DeAndre Hopkins, Mike, Paul, another Paul's fan. Jesus
little bit.
Christ, I'm using football logic here. I can't even speak.
I like the addition of J.J. Watt, though.
Oh,
paired with
huge.
Chandler Jones.
Look out.
Yeah, no,
Just
they're going
keep
to cause
Chandler
havoc.
Jones happy though.
They're gonna get after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Keep him happy though, because he's a little disgruntled with the contract. Might have wanted a trade, but that 1-2 punch right there might be the best in the league. Chandler Jones never gets talked about. I mean, that's the one mistake that Bill Belichick ever made. Honest to God. That's the first time where he let someone go where he's probably kicking himself in the balls.
It's debatable. They won a couple Super Bowls since his departure.
Yeah,
so.
but this is, I mean, look
Well,
at what
that's 'cause they
Chandler
had
Jones has
that dude.
done.
They had the best player in the league.
Big facts.
I really like the Zaven Collins draft pick, by the way.
Isaiah Simmons last year,
Oh, yeah.
stud.
I mean,
Marcus Golden's pretty good.
and they signed Malcolm Butler, who doesn't do it much for me, but it's something for them. Buda Baker is also right in the best safety conversation.
Yeah.
So they have the pieces. Like, this is a team. I mean, one thing though, the offensive line suspect. They did sign Rodney Hudson, who arguably is the best center in the league. Jason Kelsey's going to hold that crown till he retires, guys. But Rodney Hudson's right up there in that conversation. They signed him, and that should help Kyler Murray a lot too. But their offensive line is probably the weakest unit on their team overall. Other than that, they got everything.
Which is kind of bad because Kyler's a short quarterback. So if you get in his face, he can make a lot of mistakes. And I can see a lot of pick sixes.
He doesn't get hit though, too. That's crazy.
Well,
For him
yeah,
being that
because he's
small,
fast.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He just knows how to get out of the way and not get cracked.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to keep shining, though. He's so talented.
And he's a former baseball player, so he knows how to slide and avoid the hits.
He's phenomenal, guys.
He really
Yeah,
is. He's
absolutely.
awesome.
He's
It's just
great.
the only reason I'm out on them is because I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury at all. Like, I really think he stinks.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And Kyler was in that MVP conversation for a while last year. He
What were
was
they,
right
8 and
there.
8?
It was actually it was Russell Wilson and Kyler for most of the year.
8-8
8-8,
or 7-9 or something.
7-9, something like that.
Yeah.
But
They were. Hold on one sec. I got it for you. 8-8. So
and that is solely because of Kyler Murray.
yeah,
I agree. I mean, they added some talent too.
Wait, did they win a game on a Hail Mary, or was that at halftime?
that was the game against the Seahawks in overtime, and there was a couple of officiating calls that were blatant. Like, the Seahawks lost the game due to those calls, and then Arizona took over and they won in overtime.
Was that the game that DK Metcalf
Yes.
hawked Buda Baker?
Yes,
That was amazing.
Yeah.
that was back and forth. Like, that was an insane. That was one of the best games of the year.
That was the best defensive play I've ever seen.
But that shows you what Arizona could be when it's all put together. The problem is Cliff Kingsbury.
However, if Kyler doesn't do that, if that miraculous play doesn't happen, they're 4 games under 500.
I mean, you still got arguably.
I mean,
the
they're
best-
4 games under from 10 wins, which is like,
It's mediocre.
that's it.
You still got arguably the best wide receiver in football. That chemistry is only going to grow in year 2.
I agree with that.
So we'll see. Listen, just because we don't think, I mean, I'm in agreement. I wouldn't have them in the playoffs this year, but I think they're going to be right there, and they might be a plus 500 team.
Oh,
But
no,
they-
hell no.
It's possible. It's possible because they have the talent. So they would do it in spite of coaching. And listen, Cliff Kingsbury, I mean, he's got room for growth too. He's a lightly experienced guy too. So there's a chance that he could improve. I don't believe it, but I'm just saying we have to at least acknowledge that. I mean, it's the first time they were together. It could grow into something.
I mean, thank God they traded for Kyler, though. Could you imagine Cliff Kingsbury with Josh Rosen?
Oh God.
Or Colt McCoy.
yeah.
Josh Rosen, I'm tired
He's
of
their
the
backup.
excuses that everyone makes for him.
I actually feel bad for him, though, dude. He got a really bad rap.
He was trash.
I know, but he didn't really exactly have a perfect situation when he came in.
This is true, and who knows? But I'm just saying, smoke and mirrors. He's had plenty of chances. I'm tired of that. And people are like, oh, you might as well have him in the quarterback room and
No, thank
see what he can do. Fuck out of here. And he thinks he's God. He never had a good attitude. So the 3 of us think the Cardinals are not making the playoffs. Because now
Yep.
we got to talk division winners and playoff race here. There's multiple wild card spots at stake. So who do you guys have winning the division? And I don't even know if I want to answer this because I have literally changed my pick 50 times.
I think I changed it on this show. So,
I might
yeah.
change it again.
I got mine.
Go ahead, Nick.
I got the Niners. I think they're the most complete team. Defense. They are stout on defense. They'll be back. Last year, they were just crushed with injuries, and they couldn't recover. This year, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. I could see them being top 2-3 seed in the NFC. And I just think that regardless of quarterback, Jimmy G or Trey Lance, if Trey Lance is who you think he is, I think they're going to be explosive.
Well, look, it's not who I think he is.
No, I'm just saying.
I
I'm just saying.
think-
Regardless of quarterback, I think they're going to be fine. I think Jimmy G's he has the experience. He's been to the Super Bowl. He has playoff experience. I just like their team with Ayuk, Debo, Mostert, Sermon, Kittle. They're loaded.
They're the most balanced
complete,
roster.
yes.
They're arguably the most balanced roster in the NFL.
Yep.
When you subtract the quarterback question.
Yeah. So
Honest to God.
I got the Niners at 12-5. The Rams 11-6. I'm sorry, Greg. I know you're watching.
Are they a wild card team then at 11-6? Yes.
Yes, I got 3 playoff teams in this division.
Me too.
So, and then I got the Seahawks 11-6 as well. I think there's going to be a tiebreaker between the Rams and the Seahawks, but I'm not really sure who's going to win that tiebreaker, though. I'm willing to get that.
I'm with the Niners too. I thought I was going to be on an island on that, but I think they really are the most complete team. And like I said, they're just being overlooked, and nobody's realizing they were just injured last year. That's all it was. It was injuries. That's all it was. And I like I said, Jimmy G could handle it. Trey Lance could come in. I mean, Alex Smith went down, and look what Colin Kaepernick did when that happened too. So I mean, Trey Lance might have a little bit of that in him because he could run with his legs too. So, I mean, It's tough because like the Rams are going to be there, Seattle will be there, but if they're healthy, I think it's the Niners.
And here we are. And you think that the Rams and Seahawks are also playoff teams? They're getting in the wild card, right?
Yes, definitely.
So I am in agreement that all 3 of the teams we're talking about are getting into the playoffs. I hate this, and I think all 3 of us originally had the Rams, but they kind of soured on me a little bit. They're going to be right there. And listen. I've been saying this shit about the 49ers roster for a long time. Go back to our initial conversations about Brandon Ayuk and his card. I've been saying the 49ers are stacked.
Better buy him up.
I have them.
So
Me too.
I'm going to have to go with what I did right before the show. I'm going with the Seahawks to repeat right now. Here's why. Okay? When all things are considered, all 3 teams are neck and neck right now because of said concerns. Where am I going when I am concerned, though? Quarterback. He is the best quarterback in the division. They already won the division last year, playing mediocre football in the second half of the season, and with probably worse talent overall on the team. I think they got slightly better. So I trust Russell Wilson. That's what it is. And I'll give you an asterisk here. If Trey Lance starts the season, I would be willing to change my pick because I would gamble on the upside. So for me right now, it's because I assume Jimmy G is going to start, and eventually he's going to be pulled when Trey Lance is ready. And that's what's going to happen for me. If Trey Lance starts, though, which is possible, I will probably change my pick, and I'll gamble. But Seahawks, listen. This is the comment I was saving for you, Nick, before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson, and I've said this in the past, and we have sound bites of this. It was not it was before episode 1. We played a clip like this. We did not include this part in it. Russell Wilson is the current 3rd best player in the NFL. I stand by it. I don't give a shit.
What's in that Coke, bro?
I don't give a shit what you guys say.
What's in that Coke can?
He has been for years. He has been. Sorry. Go ahead, make your faces, Phil. Put the camera on them, all right? Just do
What
it.
does the audience think? I need to know this because am I going crazy or some shit? Like, what the fuck is going on? Number 3.
This episode's
Come
not
on,
me
Mike.
on sour.
Mike, come on.
Listen, you can cut that out, post it everywhere. I guarantee you that this is the case. And I won't be. If you asked all the people in football right now, I guarantee you they agree with me.
Yeah, whip me
I
up when
love
this
Russell
bullshit
Wilson. I don't think he's the 3rd best player in the league.
I think you guys are crazy, and I think that he has been so good that he's eliminating this patchwork offensive line and defense for years. He is the sole reason this team is where it is. They have a ton of offensive talent at the skill positions, but Russell Wilson is so fucking good. Like, his career arc, he started on a team that was defensive heavy, and if he was what he is today, back when they had the defense, this is a dynasty. They were already close to that.
But he hasn't done anything since the Legion of Boom.
I don't see how you could say that. I think that he has literally carried this team a la Carson Wentz via with his practice squad roster. That's how good Russell Wilson's been.
Have they made a Super Bowl?
No, but
Why?
that's the thing. It's a team game.
I understand, but if he's the third best,
you have to understand this.
if you put Mahomes on the Seahawks, you don't think they're going to the Super Bowl 1 year?
Maybe.
Why?
It's a team game. Did you see what happened to the
Yeah, but you have to be
Chiefs?
able to overcome that.
No, that's not how it works. Or else the Dolphins would have been there every year with Dan Marino.
Stinks.
That's just not how it works. It's a team game.
Who has
Did
more
you
rings,
see?
Dan Marino or Nick Foles?
Hold on a sec. Did you see?
Yeah, he's
You
back.
guys watched last year's Super Bowl because you like to talk about it a lot. What happened when the Chiefs lost their offensive line? Their defense was exposed. Their offensive line, the whole offense wasn't working.
But their defense was going to get exposed no matter what.
Listen.
You got that dude.
It's a team game.
Shout out to my brother-in-law,
Football
Anthony.
is 11 on 11.
I understand that, and I agree with you. What I'm
Quarterbacks can
saying
get
is-
you to the dance.
But,
They can even win a playoff game for you. But if you don't have a team, you ain't winning shit.
but what happened
I
last
promise
year?
you
They
that.
were 12-4 and
My
didn't
turn.
make the bowl. They didn't make the bowl, bro. They were 12-4.
Phil.
They were 12-4 and didn't make the Super Bowl.
The sooner you guys
They didn't even make the
acknowledge
eight.
that football is a team game,
They didn't make the championship
less
game.
of the odds that I will walk out tonight.
But what kind of team game is if they're 12-4? They obviously had a good team.
Led by Russell Wilson, who was cooking. He was the MVP.
12-4 and didn't make the NFC
Everyone
championship game.
knows what happened with
But
this
you know
team.
who did? The team that went on the road three games in a row
Bro, they have the most
and went
complete
to the bowl
roster in the NFL.
and beat the Chiefs.
They were the best roster.
So what?
And the defense
he took advantage
was
of it.
phenomenal.
He took advantage of it. He wins with
Listen,
the roster.
If Washington had a
Russell
quarterback, the Bucs might have lost that game. You have to admit this.
What?
What?
No, Washington played great. They have a
You're
great
crazy.
defense.
Bro.
Taylor Heineke played pretty well.
It was a one-score game. If they had an elite quarterback, the Washington football team might have beaten the Bucs in the first round.
And still lost. It doesn't
Everyone
matter.
saw it.
It doesn't matter. They still
You
lost
saw
the
it
game.
with your eyes.
They still lost the game.
Yeah, but that's
you want to know
my
why they lost
point.
the game? Because they have Tom Brady at quarterback.
Bro,
He don't lose like that.
they won that game because the defense was fucking lights out.
For what? Which
That's
game?
why.
Which game?
I almost said it. That Washington game.
What about Green Bay? He beat
come on.
Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau.
Bro,
I don't see Russell Wilson doing that.
you got to acknowledge this. If the Bucs,
Let's talk about
if the Bucs are your team.
Let's talk about it.
No,
Facts.
we can't talk about it.
We should.
Because we're running out of time.
I got time today.
I think we talked about it plenty, and I think you are not being fair about this, really.
I like Russell
I
Wilson.
love me some Tom Brady.
I love Russell Wilson, Mike. But what you're saying, he's the third best quarterback. He should be in the Super Bowl at least one time since the Legion of Boom. It's been since 2014. And guess who he lost to?
Coaching, suspect.
Brady. Why?
Defense, ass. Offensive line, worse than football.
And he has like the two best wide receivers in the
Put
league.
him on another team, and it's different. Put him on the Patriots and see what happens.
I don't disagree.
But that's what I'm trying to
I
say.
don't-
It's a
but what
team
I'm saying-
game.
But what I'm saying is the Seahawks never had a bare roster like that.
Listen, where's Sean Daniels right now?
They never had a
I
bad
need
roster.
a football guy.
He went vegan. He's at Produce Junction.
I need a football guy to step in
Big flax.
and speak up. A football guy, come on in here.
Please.
Help this man.
I love Russell Wilson.
That's flawed logic, bro.
What I'm saying
That's
is,
flawed.
I
My
love
brother-in-law
Russell Wilson.
cooking in these comments too.
But my thing is, he just doesn't do it in the end of the season. He doesn't progress at the end of the season. He don't. How do you go 12-4 and not make the championship game? Let's
And
talk
you
about
lost
it.
to Jack.
Did you watch the Seahawks unravel at the end of the season? Like, do you actually intimately know the issues with the team? Did you watch and pay attention to what happened with this team?
I did.
Are you sure?
I am. They can't run the football.
Oh my
It's a
God,
team
now they
game.
can't
I
run
get
the
it.
football?
I get it. They can't run the football.
They can't run the football.
But my thing
now?
is, he's never went to the Super Bowl without the Legion of Boom.
This is
Can you
fucking
explain it why? They had
Bro.
great rosters. They
If
were
you're gonna
12-4.
If you're gonna go that far, you have to look at Tom Brady's past.
I did.
Look at
7
the
rings.
rosters, dude. Look
He
at
went
the
to 10 Super Bowls.
rosters.
I know. Look at his rosters. He went to Super Bowls with fucking Deion Branch.
Tom Brady won 3
Rashae
rings
Caldwell,
before he was
Christian
an elite
Fourier.
quarterback.
The list goes on. He's never had top tier talent
Brady
on
won
offense.
3 rings before he was an elite quarterback in this league.
And he won 4
Facts.
more. And he won 4 more.
That's right, because he had the pieces too.
What pieces?
He was an elite, and he had everything. And,
And
he
he
had
had
the best coach in football.
He had Rashae Caldwell, dude.
He had Yeah, exactly. He had Julian Edelman as his number one wide receiver.
Yo.
He's a slot guy.
This is crazy.
And won the bowl.
You're actually throwing shade to Tom Brady right now.
Oh,
literally. You're throwing shade to the Patriots. You should know this better than anybody.
No, the Patriots never gave him offensive talent.
All right, look,
They never did.
it's 9-10, and I got to push us forward. You're crazy.
I know.
You're
I'm crazy. I
You're
think
psychotic
crazy.
and iconic.
Big facts.
But I love that you're standing toe-to-toe with me
Absolutely.
right now. I love it. Anyway, there's the emotion that might have been lacking last week.
I got more.
Take a breath. I'm actually getting heated. I might have to go for a walk after this. Whew.
You should.
Yeah, you need fresh air after that.
Bro, I want you guys to jot down notes.
I got time today.
Oh, man. All right. Phil, give me something here. Give me some bang!
Sling.
Bang, bang!
Yo, I keep hitting that button.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
I hit that.
Fuck.
Wait, what do we need?
Bang!
Pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's
I love that shit.
Wins the game at the buzzer.
Everything from
That sounded
here
like me.
on, because that last debate, even though it was fucking fire and unexpected and not part of the schedule, guys.
It really wasn't.
It was not part of the schedule, so we're going to run over time.
That felt so good being on the opposite end and watching you two do that.
Or,
Oh, you know who's Super Bowl champion too? Malcolm Mitchell. He's not even in the league. You want to know why? That dude.
Carry
Okay,
on.
Let's move on here. I think I made my case.
you got the camera on me, rolling my fucking eyes. Unbelievable.
I got time
Of all
today.
people, you're going to throw shade to the Patriots. I'm stunned, actually. This is crazy. Anyway, we got to move on. Everything from here on is going to be a quick hitter, including our sports card segment, because we actually have two, okay? Everything from here on is quick hitters. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Phil, I know you got that one on tap.
Let's do this.
I love that shit.
Nick, I want you to tell everybody what we were talking about. This interesting thing here about football turned WWE stars. And it's something that the audience needs to listen closely to. This is very interesting.
I just like weird things, right? So,
We know that.
yeah, facts. But so if I go back to last year, I was looking at Dwayne Johnson, The Rock's rookie card, and his PSA 10 sold for $14K December 2020. So I'm like, and this is the 1994 Miami Bumblebee perforated PSA 10. So then February 2021, it sold for $45.1K. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on here? April 2020, it sold for $81.2K. So why? He's an icon, right? So then I'm looking at guys like, Brock Lesnar. And he's very interesting as well. He's definitely an icon, and he was like the face of the fight game.
The most electrifying wrestling in the sport.
Right. So
Got good laughs.
That's what they say.
So Brock Lesnar, I was looking at his 2004 Leaf Rookies and Stars card number 155 on the Minnesota Vikings. And right now it's going for $40 to $50 raw. So back in May, it was actually going for $100, and that's because the spike happened because people were starting to look into it based on The Rock. So I looked at his PSA, grades, and he had a PSA 9 sold for $260 on August 8th. I think this is an opportunity to buy right now, $40 to $50 raw, and I'll tell you why. Because when PSA comes back and you can submit cards for $20 to $25, you're able to wait because this is a long-term game for Brock. And his PSA pop report, its PSA 10 is only 13 in the world. So scarcity, again, I'm going back to scarcity. Scarcity matters. The reason why the Rock sold for that much is because there's only 30 PSA 10s. And PSA 9s, there was 54. So I'm looking at scarcity with this one. And if I go to Brock Lesnar's 2004 Leaf Rookies and Stars again, the PSA 9 is only 22. So you have PSA 10 with 13, PSA 9 with 22. That's scarcity. That's crazy to me. So crazy. I think if you buy a couple of them for $40 to $50, you hold on to it, you get it graded when PSA returns to $20 to $25 submissions, and you sit on it. And I think it's only going to go up from here because the PSA 9 just sold for $260. So if you buy it for $40, you get it graded for $25. The worst you get is just say a PSA 9. You just made 3x.
I love this. I love it.
I think that was really interesting for me. I love that weird shit, man. I
'Cause
think that shit is like.
So does Marco.
But like,
we took this away.
matters.
We were talking about all the football turned stars. They got The Rock. He played at the U. They got Lesnar at the Vikings, even though he lasted for a minute there. John Cena was a D3 All-American at Springfield. Bill Goldberg was on the Atlanta Falcons for a minute. Roman Reigns was on the Vikings. Lex Luger was on the Packers.
Roman Reigns.
I said, Nick, even though this is not a football observation, I said, Nick, find me a Kurt Angle card because that man won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. All you wrestling fans, I know you know that quote. I know it. Sorry, guys. I grew up like I was a huge fan, like 90s, early 2000s. Like, oh my God.
I'm a Sting guy.
Phenomenal. But like, we are yet to find all of those cards that we just mentioned. If anybody knows if any cards exist for the rest of the players that Nick did not cover, please, by all means, like, research the shit out of this.
Yeah.
One, you actually might want to keep that a secret for yourself, but if you do find it and you want to be generous, let us know.
Brock Lesnar's a buy, straight up.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that, Nick. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I would just go on eBay, look at accept offers, and just put in a $40, $50 offer.
Done.
That's exactly
I
what I
might
would
do it right after this show.
Because I feel like if you go into bidding, I think it would be overpriced. And there's a reason for that. Because I know eBay, there's a lot of shilling going on.
There's the next subject, Nick.
Yes.
Go ahead.
A report came out that PWC CC auctions actually got caught with eBay from shilling. And shilling, you know what shilling is? So for everybody out there that's listening, shilling is they have a friend having an account who's raising the prices on bidding, so they can get the money, so they can get more money out of the card. So say I had a CD Lamb for $100 bidding right now, right? And I wanted $200 for it. I could tell Mike, hey, can you bid it up? And then somebody else is going to keep bidding against you. Why? Because they want that card, right? So that's shilling right there. So I thought that was a big deal. eBay came out. I don't even know if there was an agreement because PWCC brought in 200 million in sales last year on eBay. So they're definitely one of the top people on that website, which, you know, is bringing in some money because when you sell something on eBay, they take a percentages of your profit or money. So I think they take about 12% ish. So that's a pretty significant amount. So I just think that, you know, they got caught and apparently they're gonna sue them for you know, damaging their name. And what's really interesting too is that PWCC is going to start their own website and have their own auctions on there. But for me, like, since I feel like that smears their name, so I'm not interested in, you know, purchasing anything from them because of that reason. So
you're gonna have to update us on this subject when there's some news because this is an interesting thing to keep an eye on. I
mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you really gotta watch. You gotta know the market. That's how you get caught. Honestly, if you don't know the market, people can do things like that, and then they're gonna get more money out of you when it's not worth it.
I always tell people, I say, listen, take out your notepad.
Be careful.
Take out that notepad and listen to these tips. You don't want to lose money, all right?
Yeah.
Take notes on this shit. But, Nick, you want to quickly repeat the announcements from last week regarding the card shows that we will be attending here at K&I.
So for everybody that's interested, the Wildwood Sports Card Show at the Convention Center is going to be this Friday, August 20th. It starts at 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, we'll be there. We will be there at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then Sunday, it is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So we're going to be there. P&I is going to be there on Saturday. I know just me and Phil, but yeah, we'll be there filming some content for you guys, just like last time. It was a massive success, and I think you guys will enjoy this video coming out on Monday.
Perfect. And I just want to point out one question. Papa Pasillo says, when's the next unboxing? I'm about to say, stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We will keep everybody posted.
And we love opening boxes.
I love opening boxes.
Love it.
Literally. And I also want to point out before I just start like ranting news to end the show. Your dad, Nick, also says we need to put a boxing ring in this room. I mean, is there another spare room in this house? Like, I don't think anyone realizes that this studio is legit, but it's in Nick's house. It's a legit studio.
I love this room.
I mean, it is as legit as it gets. People wonder that. You got room for a boxing ring?
I got a big backyard.
Whoa.
Oh, man. Come on.
Yo, come on.
Whoa. What's going on here?
Jesus.
Sound
I've
the
been
alarm.
waiting. I should have had Phil do that during our argument. Oh my God. Literally, Phil, this might be a good time for the gunshots because literally Nick and I were like, we were emptying clips on each other.
But it's all love.
It's
It's
good
all
debate.
love.
It's good
There's
debate.
no beef. There's no beef. There's all love.
It's good debate. Also, Papa Pasillo says, don't throw out Rager. Mike, oh my God, we have to troll Mike for 1
we
second.
have to.
Because he literally said on this show last week, every time I talk shit on the Eagles receivers, they do something fucking fantastic. Okay?
I called it. I said it. I said something was going to happen next because you shit on Rieger.
I know, and now I got the Godfather trolling me on Facebook.
As
It's
if,
unbelievable.
as if his previous catch wasn't fucking phenomenal. This one was better.
When I was watching
he literally
it,
high pointed the ball like
Wait a
he
minute.
was like sticking a fork
dude,
in it.
I was on Twitter and I was watching it and I'm like, that's the old catch, isn't it? And then I realized it wasn't, and I'm like, fuck, here we go again.
Bro, I have to say this. I was gonna save it for like a second from now. The Eagles waived Kerryon Johnson, by the way. That was my Eagles point, and the Tyree Jackson thing. Everyone thought Kerryon Johnson was a lock to make this team over Jordan Howard, including myself.
So
And Jordan Howard is going to make this roster. What a turnaround. He looks like he cut some weight. He realized this is it for him. He was already a good fit on this team a couple of years ago. Jordan Howard's going to make this team.
He protected his quarterback.
I mean, he's a good inside runner. He's a hell of a pass protector.
dude, he's only 26.
I know.
I know. And
It feels like he's been in the league forever.
Listen,
I swear
For the
to
value,
God.
you want JH24.
Yo,
Big
he
facts.
actually has he has fresh legs because he
gave him
hardly
last.
played last year. He walked into Miami and they said like, we're not going to use you. Right after they signed him to a multi-million-dollar deal, and they say we're not going to use you. By the way, so he's got fresh legs.
Yeah.
He wasn't even used last year. But this is a guy who literally, like, mind you, if you exclude last year, was one of the top 5 to 10 rushing yard leaders of the previous 3 years combined. Let me just remind you guys of that, okay? That was the news there, though, but the Eagles receivers just keep, man, they're playing with Mike.
I know.
And all
Who else you gonna
accounts,
shit on?
everybody, listen.
Who do you want to shit on,
No,
Mike?
hold that. I'll let you do that in a second because by all accounts now, the Eagles just had joint practices with the Patriots all week leading up to the preseason game. And I heard, and I said this on the previous live stream, that they have been dominating them on both sides of the ball and that Jalen Reagor has been a standout.
Yeah, but that was coming from Elliott Shore Parks, and he caps.
No. Who listens to that guy? You think I take his notes? Hell no.
Just making sure. Just making
Emphatically
sure.
no.
All
And
right.
he capped.
He caps a lot.
Emphatically no. You think I listen to that clown? Sorry, ESP. But he knows how to draw the audience, I'll tell you that.
Oh, shit.
I never met him, so who gives a shit? Anyway, yeah, so the Eagles receivers. Jalen Reagor has been a standout all offseason, minus the conditioning test that he failed, and we rightfully so took a dump on him. He has been a standout. And
All right,
suddenly...
Travis Fulgham sucks. He can't catch for shit. I want him to get cut,
But
too.
you say that? Yeah, that's the same comment, so I love it. He said that about Reagor. Keep that energy. We need it. Hey, even they said J-Jaw even had a good couple days.
Let's not go there. I should have said him
No,
because I like
listen.
Fulgham. I should have said
Listen.
him.
I hope that Bill Belichick saw and was like, ooh, we can make something of him because their receivers are kind of...
If he goes to the Patriots, he'll be an
good.
all-pro.
Right. Yeah, and they said, yeah, here's another thing. Patriots reporters were saying how confident Jalen Hurts looks. That's a good note. Keep an eye, guys.
He knows
I
his
said,
shit.
Top 10 fantasy option. I said it.
We'll see.
And you'll have to wait for the division stuff. That might be our last show leading up to the season. We're just going to save the best for last. Okay? So there's our Eagles point.
That's gonna be
NBA. The Grizzlies trade Pat Beverly, who they just got, to the T-Wolves for Jarrett Culver and Juancho Hernan Gomez. Real quick, yes or no, who wins the deal? Not yes or no. Pick a team.
I like the Wolves. I think Pat Bev will be good in that locker room. He'll teach them boys how to play.
I agree.
I think he's good. He'll get us some grit out of them.
Nick?
I'm with you too. Pat Bev is he's a dog.
Yeah.
Boom. So
And
we all
he'll help
agree.
Cat because Cat is soft.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Papa Priscilla says Fulgham or J-Jaw, who gets cut? Out of the two,
J-Jaw
it's
better
gonna-
get
It's
cut.
going to be J-Jaw.
I think Fulgham's good,
He is good.
but whatever. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, but that's a good question. I have to definitely give credit to that. Chase Claypool might have suffered a significant injury. They said that they think it's not major, but I just want to point this out to you guys because A, he should be a good fantasy option. B, if he's out, the Steelers, I mean, they were already looking fucked, but
Yeah, they stink.
they're ultra,
Sorry, bro.
they're
They stink.
ultra fucked if they lose Claypool. Just saying. I'm just putting that out there. He's a playmaker. He should be as good, if not better, this year. So, wanted to throw that out there. Finally, the Tebow talk can stop. I was rooting for him to do something, but Tim Tebow was finally cut by the Jags. Is the Tim Tebow experiment in the NFL over now officially? Do you think another team signs him at tight end?
No, it's over.
Quarterback, maybe a gadget guy?
No.
R.I.P.
Not even fullback.
R.I.p.
No.
It's over for him.
It's a
He's
shame.
not
I
coming
wish.
back.
I
He
wish,
might collect laundry or
listen,
something, but his playing days are over.
Yeah.
I wish he came to the
He's
realization.
going to church.
Yeah.
I wish that he came to the realization that he could play another position and possibly succeed in this league. He would have been a great fullback / H-back.
He couldn't get rid of that ego.
But he just did. Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess you can call it an ego.
It was.
Yes, you
I guess
can.
it was.
He was stubborn.
Yeah,
It's
That's
a
what it
shame
was.
because he really could have thrived in that kind of role. I mean,
Here's the thing. I don't
It's a
know if he ever
shame.
would have been a good tight end. He
No.
never played it before.
Tight end
That's a
wasn't
hard
meant for
position.
him.
No,
yeah.
you got to block.
fullback though,
Yeah, he actually, I think he could have been a good fullback.
goal line back.
Yeah, Tim Allstott.
Wildcat guy. I mean, he was perfect fit for when the league was doing that shit. Oh well. I root
That
for
block
him.
was embarrassing,
Listen,
by the way.
I know,
He got
I know.
roasted on Twitter. Rightfully so.
Especially-
What the
I
fuck
know.
was that,
Yeah,
though?
but not for nothing. Despite being jacked as hell, this guy looks like he runs with fucking bricks in his fucking shoes, and just does not look like he exerts like physical energy.
It's just an
He
experiment.
looks like
That's all
slow
it
as
was.
shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It
Yeah.
was weird. He didn't even look like that when he was a quarterback. It was weird.
Yeah.
But I root for him in life. Amazing guy. Amazing, inspiring. Amazing.
Without
okay?
a doubt. I love Tebow.
So-
man. he was awesome. in
I was
Florida.
rooting for him, and I
Very
bet you they had a
inspirational.
lot of jersey sales.
He's a leader. So, I
But-
mean, it's a shame, but his days are over.
It's a shame. But we save the best for last, guys. The best for last. This is the definition of Philly right here. Joel Embiid.
The process.
The GOAT.
Trust the process.
Yep.
4-year Supermax extension for $196 million. It extends its contract until 2027. Finally, I've been waiting to see if this was going to happen. Finally, we know the big man's going to be here. We know that he's happy. He made that so clear that he loves this
He
franchise.
said he wants to retire here.
He loves. That's exactly
After he
what we
wins a
wanna
title.
hear.
I love it. I love
He
Embiid,
loves
man.
this city. He loves the people. He is arguably the biggest gift Philadelphia has received in the sports community in decades, since the Iversons and you know the Dawkins types, Chase Utleys, those guys.
I'm so happy.
He's
they
right
got
up
him.
there, not just talent wise, but what a gift. That is a great way to end the show, I think. Right?
I feel like I was worried about him, because I feel like he was going to request a trade, but I feel like he knows something is coming.
Listen, he's got a say.
I think
he
he
has a say.
knows.
He's got input.
And he
100%.
negotiated his own deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, he is an inspiration too. I like how he's matured, and he can still talk his shit all he wants, and it's great. But he kind of cut down on that. He was just on a mission last year. I see the same this year. I've already said on the record, I think he's coming right back for that MVP. I've already said that.
Yep.
I-
And when Dame is in a Sixers uniform,
Oh my God,
you'll see.
something could be brewing.
That's why I was worried about him leaving, but I feel like he's happy because he knows
He could have tried to. He could have did that to try to entice Dame. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
I
Come
think
here.
it's anything's possible
Good
at
point.
this point. But the fans needed to hear this too. I mean, people were worried that maybe he'd get sick of
real
what's
fast.
going on.
I mentioned this three shows ago or 2 shows ago. Another superstar locking in for multiple years instead of the 1-on-1 shit.
I love it.
You're watching superstars now lock in.
And you're in a major market, and I mean, literally, this is the MVP of the league. He should have been MVP this year. This is the reassurance that everybody needed, even if it wasn't necessary. I mean, this guy is a transcendent. He might go down as the best big man ever. He's right in that. He's that talented. He is a gift.
Agreed.
He is a gift. Trust the process. Papa Priscilla says paid too much. That is psychotic.
He's on sour.
Maybe even iconic.
Sour.
That's crazy, Pops. I wasn't gonna pay that attention. Let me educate you. He's worth every penny. I don't care
Every
what
penny.
injuries he has to fight off along the way. He is a gift for Philadelphia. That's how we're closing the show. A lot of energy tonight. We ran a little past the schedule, but it was worth it.
Absolutely.
So, Nick, take it away.
Guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the love, support, and also the comments. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Also, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we'll see you guys next Monday night at P&I.